Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95 and a very good morning and welcome back onto the Morning Majlis. Now, one thing in particular that we are going to be talking about that was over the weekend was gathering a lot of momentum was the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's vote of confidence. This was due to a surprise Senate election last week, which really put him into a bit of a political crisis. A lot of people started thinking that the 68-year-old Prime Minister, a cricketer turned politician, may be the end of his political career. He might have to resign from the premiership. But luckily for him and his ruling party, they've won the vote of confidence and assurance from the members of the parliament.
Certainly did. And Imran Khan was seeking this parliament's confidence after the government's finance minister lost a high-profile Senate seat election last week. So Khan needed 172 votes to win confidence. He was able to secure 178, according to the Speaker of the House. The process has been marred by controversy. In fact, the opposition boycotted the vote, and there were clashes reportedly between government supporters and opposition leaders outside the parliament's building.
That's right. Khan actually demanded the vote of confidence last week after his recently appointed finance minister, Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, was defeated in the election to a Senate seat from Islamabad by the former president, Yusuf Raza Gilani. Only the two senators from Islamabad are elected by parliament, while other 50 are elected by provincial assemblies. Now, Mr. Sheikh's defeat denied him the chance to enter parliament, which he needs to do to keep his post beyond 6 months. Now, a furious Khan accused 15 or 16 of his party's 178 MPs of taking bribes from the opposition to vote for Gilani, and also demanded a public pledge of loyalty. Now, the voting was actually by secret ballot, so the rebels could not be traced.
Yeah, and opposition parties were saying that the Senate seat defeat that happened last week was enough to show that Khan no longer enjoyed the confidence of the House. They were saying that the whole vote of confidence thing was unnecessary. That's what former Prime Minister and opposition leader Shahid Abbasi said to media. He called it, quote, an illegal session to cheat the Pakistani people.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there has been a huge call within amongst the public and the ruling party to find who these 16 or 15 members were who voted against the ruling party in the Senate elections. But Imran Khan wrote to the party MPs saying that now they all risked being formally declared defectors if they voted against him, which would have cost them their seats in the confidence vote was held by division. Now, this is going to be very interesting to see how he goes about it. Looking at the economic impact, Pakistani rupee is enjoying smart recovery. That's according to latest news emerging from it. Pakistan's rupee has staged a smart recovery against the US dollar on positive economic indicators, and experts believe it will continue its upward trend despite some challenges ahead. The rupee has so far appreciated 1.7% against the dollar this year, and against the dirham as well. It is now around $42.77 against 43.6 way back in January 8. So some positive news emerging from there as well. So hopefully this new vote of confidence would have reassured the public as well. Well, time now for us to prepare for the world of news headlines. Sports headlines are emerging up next here on the Morning Majlis. We shall take a bit of a breather and return right after that. And then up next is the big debate. It is, how much screen time do you average on a daily basis? How much time do you spend looking at your phones? Do you Snapchat a lot like Rania? Do you Insta story a lot like myself? Or do you tweet a lot like Mr. Ahmed Dawood? So all of this will be
We
discussed.
have a nice assembly.
Yeah, right? Very diverse.
Very diverse.
Yeah, we have our own little parliament over here. But do get involved on the text lines 4215. Do you feel guilty or do you feel that it's okay? Well, stay with us on the Morning Majlis and send us your thoughts and messages on 4215.
Join the conversation with the Morning Majlis. Pulse 95.
Yep, join the conversation. We're asking you on 4215, the text lines, to share your thoughts and messages. How much screen time do you average in a week or on a daily basis throughout your week? Looking at our stats, let's do a Morning Majlis, a little bit of a roundup in terms of what's going on. Let's start with Rania.
Yeah, I'm looking at my stats here. Last 7 days, I have spent 29 hours screen time. That's 17% of my time on the screen. 29 hours. That's about 4 hours a day
Okay.
screen time, which is less than the average
Definitely.
than the UAE residents, how much they spent per day. Because apparently the average resident in the UAE as of last year spends 7 hours and 24 minutes online per day. But that was last year. I wonder, is it the same this year? Because last year we were mainly because of the pandemic and all of that. We were a lot of us were really so reliant on our phones and on anything digital, really, and on our laptops and all of that.
Most used app for you, Rania?
Snapchat.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm averaging, according to this, last
10 hours on Snapchat. Sorry.
10 hours on Snapchat.
That's a lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear about my 10 hours. So I did 7 hours, 45 minutes per day on average last week. I spent 10 hours on Twitter
Oof.
and 10 hours on Safari, my choice web browser. And the reason we're talking about this is the World Digital Report 2021 is talking about screen usage. Mine is apparently on average with the rest of the world, which is at 7 hours, 30 minutes. What about you, Abdul
That
Karim?
is impressive.
Got similar numbers?
No, apparently I've got 5 hours, 45 minutes. I actually thought it would be a lot more because I do tend to use Instagram as my diary. And one of the reasons why I do that, now some people would say it's just to showcase whatever media life we've got. I think it's more for me.
Yeah.
I go back to my stories and think, oh, I did this that day or that week. So I have to, and I've reached, I think most of us have also reached a stage where you just talk about something saying, oh, I remember going to, what did you do on, let's say, last Wednesday? And you'll be thinking, what did I do? You'd either go back to your stories or you'd go back to your gallery of my phone. I literally go back to my phone gallery and say, oh, okay, on Wednesday, I took a picture of this and I'm pretty sure I obviously went there.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. But on average in the United Arab Emirates, it is 7.5 hours a day. Now, I can see that. One of the reasons.
Because of the lockdowns.
Apart from the lockdown scenario, when you look at the evening hangouts, the generic hangouts in coffee shops, you can see people sat around a table, full of friends, chilling, but they'll be on their phone most of the time.
Everyone, not just friends, family members, everything.
And they'll spend hours.
You know what keeps me at awe a lot of times? That couples go out, and I saw that so many times. They're out, and they're together, and they're supposed to be on their romantic dinner or whatever, or just bonding dinner, and they're not talking. They're on their phones. Like both of them, they're sitting and they're not talking. Both of them are on their own phones. They're just there to eat or something, and they're not talking at all, not communicating. So that's something that always keeps me wondering, why did you guys go out anyway?
I've known people like that, and what they said was, when you get so comfortable around somebody, you go out to a restaurant and you just do your thing by yourself on your phone, and they're just there next to you. People have different ways of enjoying their time together.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
But like not a single word.
I've seen that too.
I keep watching them, because I'm so curious. Like they're not even saying a word to each other.
I've seen that.
You could join them and moderate a discussion.
Yeah, we
It's
should.
like the Morning Majlis, so why not? I mean, there's a lot of times when there's people who use, such as the high user of Snapchat, let's say.
Yeah.
is because they choose so much time, or spend too much time on choosing the right filter, then choosing the right angle, and then they'll save that particular shot. Is it true, Rania? They'll
Are you
save
hinting at something?
Just hinting at
And it seems like it, right?
You take a few shots, you think, okay, this is good, but I'll save it. Maybe I'll think about it later. Then
Oh,
you
that's
take
me. That's definitely me.
Photography is a time-consuming process.
It is.
But with a filter,
Huh?
it ruins the quality of the image.
Not all filters.
Not all filters.
Not all
Okay.
filters.
That's another debate now,
Yeah,
filter or no
exactly.
filter.
Filter or no filter.
What's interesting, I read this report, it says in the Philippines, that's where they spent the most amount of time online. 11 hours per day
Oof.
in the Philippines.
No way.
Yeah, the least one was Japan. Interestingly, at least 4.5 hours a day. UK is at 6 hours and 26 minutes.
Wow.
6 hours. Oh.
So I'm good. I'm doing good. If I'm
Yeah.
doing 4 hours on my phone, then that means I'm pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
doing well.
Maybe because Rani uses multiple phones. So
No.
one is for
I
the-
actually checked my other phone, and it
Elsa.
turns out it's a couple of minutes.
I mean, what do you count as screen time too? Do you count
Yeah.
Netflix as well on your laptop? Does that count as screen time? It could be.
Yeah.
The definition could
That's
be a little.
debate as well. Yeah.
it could be bent and skewed a little bit for sure. I think kids are especially more online, especially with schools being done at home.
Right.
And Zoom classes and such.
And Netflix.
Yeah.
They're
And
so
TikTok.
Oh
Could
yeah,
spend
TikTok.
a long time browsing that.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of them do.
But let us know, the text lines 4215, what you think about it, because the screen time of us working on our laptops as well, that should be counted as well. I know,
Yeah.
I know the phone is calculating based on your phone and what you're using there, but the amount of time we're always glued to screen, if you think about it. We're either glued to our GPS when we're driving around,
We're glued
or
to the whole world of social media in general,
Very
and
into-
what
yeah.
people what we want people to see when it comes to what we are producing
Yeah.
on social media, whether it's pictures or videos or comments or whatever. Like for example, I have an observation.
Yes.
Yesterday I was out with my friends, and we've been going out, the same group. We've been going out for the past couple of days, and I had an observation and actually discussed this with my friends. I did the same thing. What happened was that we were out and we were looking for only picturesque locations.
of course.
as girls, and we were so concerned with taking pictures that we forgot to even communicate. We were just like concerned about taking pictures, posting them on Instagram, on Snapchat, on our social media platforms.
Yeah.
And at one point, I was just like, guys, why aren't we not talking? We're just
Yeah.
here just to post pictures,
Yes.
and we're not enjoying the moment itself. And that happened during a lot of outings in the past couple of days. And they're just like, oh, yeah, you're right. Because we were so concerned with, okay, I look fat in this picture,
Oh,
for
yeah.
example. I look bad in this picture. I look, I don't know what's too skinny in this picture, whatever. And I'm not going to post this picture. It was that was the debate. That was the main conversation. And we forgot about the real
The
life
moment.
conversations and the moment and enjoying the view and enjoying the picturesque location itself. So that is something that I observed and I actually talked about yesterday. I was just like,
That's
you know what? We need to drop our phones for a second and we need to just have a normal conversation and not just be concerned with the pictures.
Maybe if you're taking too many photos, that's also a sign that you're kind of enjoying the experience and you want to showcase and share with your
It's
world.
true,
That's
but
good.
not to
Yeah.
a point where you don't even communicate with the people around you.
Yeah.
That is a concern.
Gotta
here.
strike a balance.
Yeah, you gotta be like, khalas, I'm taking pictures. I took pictures. Now I need to enjoy the view and enjoy the company.
Just hire a photographer.
Yeah.
Outsource all that work.
Yeah,
You could do that, or you could also dedicate the first 10 minutes of the arrival or post-arrival to do whatever you want to do on your social media, and then the phones would be away. Some people actually, some restaurants around the world have also offered service where they pick up your phone from you and say, okay, you know what, enjoy your dining experience. That could be a good shout. You never know. Just pretend it's like the cinema. Don't
Yeah.
Snapchat. But people still Snapchat in the cinema, which is
Yeah.
amazing to see.
I still get a little anxious, like picking up my phone if I'm out with friends at a restaurant or something. I just always feel like it's just sort of deeply ingrained in me that it's not nice if you're in a company of people to just
That's
start going
right.
through your phone a lot. So,
yeah.
like you said, you do your entry, take your pictures, put it down, have a good time.
Yeah. because the more pictures you take, the more work
I'm guilty of this, actually.
Yeah.
I am. That's why I'm trying to change. I'm like, no, I can't do this the whole time.
You'll take 300 shots, then you'll go back
No,
to the camera.
choose one.
And choose one of them and delete most of them. But yeah, it just happens. A standard operating procedure. But let us know on the text lines 4215. What is your average screen time and what has been the most popular app that you've been using? It'll be great to get involved and share your thoughts with us on the Morning Majlis. Now we'll shift our focus on the world of Women's Day, which is tomorrow, and talk about what Sharjah is organising in terms of celebrating the success stories, especially when it comes onto the sporting field. So stay with us on the Morning Majlis. That is coming up next. But before we discuss that, let's celebrate with a bit of Miley Cyrus. Stay with us. This is the Morning Majlis on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Between local lines. Notes from the Emirate.
Oh, we're so excited. We have 2 new parks here in the Emirate of Sharjah because the Sharjah Investment and Development Authority, Shuruq, has announced the opening of those 2 new parks in the Al Rahmaniya neighborhood, including a female-only park. That's one of the reasons why it's so unique, because there is a female-only park. That's new.
Yeah, and
this
it's
concept, right?
Definitely is, and it's not your typical park either. It's going to have a lot of activities involved. So 2 parks. There's Kashisha Park for families and Shaghrafa Park that is women only, and they feature social, entertainment, sports, and educational facility. They both combine for an area of 147,700 square meters. Now, starting with Shaghrafa Park, yes, it's designed exclusively for women. It contains dedicated halls for conducting workshops, also features play areas, a theater, a jogging track, a gym, and basketball and volleyball courts as well. Kashisha Park also does not have a shortage of things to do either.
No, it doesn't. Visitors to Kashisha Park can actually pre-book the football field for 250 dirhams per hour or 450 for 2 hours at specific time slots. And the volleyball court will be charged at 150 for an hour and 250 for 2 hours. At Shaghrafa, visitors will have free access to both the basketball and the volleyball courts. Now, booking sports field in both parks are via a dedicated WhatsApp booking. The field is through the dedicated WhatsApp number. Now, the park's facilities are open from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday. Visiting hours extend until 11 p.m. on Thursday until Saturday. And official holidays as well, and also from 12 p.m. until 11 p.m. during the holy month of Ramadan. However, the jogging tracks will be available for residents and visitors on a 24/7 basis.
Yeah, it's going to be a great new destination to head out. Ahmed Al-Qasir, the COO of Shuruq, said the development of the 2 parks were carried out under the directives of His Highness the ruler of Sharjah and reflects His Highness's vision to enhance the quality of life for Sharjah's resident citizens and visitors through the provision of high-quality entertainment and recreational destinations. Shuruq is keen on providing fun-filled activities for the families in a safe environment that adheres to the preventative measures and protocols mandated by the health authorities as well. Now, thinking about the significance of the park and who can use it, yes, the Rahmaniya area, a very new development, a very Emirati community as well. But if you are down there in Rahmaniya area, particularly to visiting some of the major government centres there, such as the Emirates ID department, to relax and chill out after your long drive in Rahmaniya area, you can go to Kashisha Park and just admire the surroundings. It's not very green at the moment, looking at the situation. There's lots of trees, so it gives you the desert vibes in the park itself. But having a dedicated pond for a duck feeding.
That's right.
With a duck feeding station.
That's this is in the Kashisha Park.
Yeah.
And it's basically dedicated to families, and it hosts football and volleyball courts, just like we mentioned, a library, amphitheater, which is very interesting as well. Fitness hub, jogging and cycling tracks, playground, skateboard range, and especially designed halls for holding workshops as well.
That's pretty cool. And the
That is very
facilities,
cool.
yeah, absolutely. And the facilities are going to be open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday. And visiting hours extend until 11 p.m. on Thursday to Saturday and official holidays as well. So expected to be open all day round. And on the holy month of Ramadan, it's going to be from 12 p.m. until 11 p.m. However, the jogging tracks will be available for residents and visitors
All day,
all
every
day, 24/7.
Yeah.
All day, every day. There we go. That's going to be fun for sure. Make the most of the wonderful semi-winter conditions that we have on offer. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, but we do make the most of the last few days of the winter that we have here in the United Arab Emirates. We're heading down and exploring one of these wonderful parks that are on offer in the Emirate of Sharjah. Stay with us on the Morning Majlis. Up next, we'll talk about the big travel requirements for people travelling from the UK. What's going on? All of this will be discussed right here on the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis. Talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
Well, we're following up on the car accident that Tiger Woods was in, actually, and he was actually found unconscious after this car crash that happened in California last month. Well, it has emerged. News has been emerging as well about this car accident.
Absolutely,
Yes,
yes.
it has, yeah, and it's very frightening because I remember when we talked about it, we were here on the show, and then Ahmed highlighted saying, "Oh, by the way, there's been an accident and this is happening," and then the first thing was, given the
Is he
extent,
okay?
given the extent of the damage to the car, you'd be thinking, he's lucky to be alive.
Right.
It's frightening, the photos.
And at the time, they said he was fine, he's completely fine, he's conscious, but what's going on now?
The news is that apparently he was unconscious, and those are the documents that are revealing. So they found the golfer with his face and chin covered in blood. Court documents that were showed on a police affidavit, and Woods required lengthy surgery to the fractured leg and shattered ankle after that accident.
Yeah, and county sheriff said the accident was, quote, purely an accident, that there was no evidence, in fact, of Tiger Woods being under the influence at all. So Woods suffered reportedly open fractures on the tibia and fibula of his lower right leg. A rod was inserted into the tibia, and injuries to his foot and ankle were stabilized with screws and pins. And police in the press conference said he was lucky to be alive in the first place, given the severity of the accident in which his car had rolled over several times after crossing into an opposite lane and going off the road and down an embankment and a hill at that. But we wish Tiger Woods a speedy recovery and a legend in sports. I'm going to take this moment to just go over his career. In fact, he really put golf on the map. He's like the Michael Jordan of the sport.
Of
and
golf,
for a long time, he was invincible, so far and away from his peers, and has been doing it from a young age as well. His first TV appearance as a golfer at the age of 5, and a career that is tumultuous, full of highs and lows as well. A scandal that occurred that pretty much damaged him and made his sponsors go away for some time now. But he did make a career comeback, only to be plagued with lower back injuries that significantly slowed down his performance as well. We're hoping one day Tiger Woods could make that comeback and recover from this. The outlook for his career is not yet clear at the moment, and the focus is to try and get him back to as good a shape as he can be, given the severity of what he's going through at the moment.
Well, certainly. What an illustrious career, and not the best of all ways to see it crumbling at this stage, or concluding to say. But let's see what happens up next. But in terms of other big stories, England losing 3-1 in India was the big story from yesterday. The Test series has concluded after England lost the final test by an innings and 25 runs. A very disappointing end to that, and Joe Root has been very critical of his side, saying that they shouldn't rule it out, but saying, it's very difficult to bat in India, and it's a very spinning track, and India had the home advantage because now they are preparing for the Ashes. Later on today, we have the Premier League as well. There's about 4 games, but the only game that matters is Newcastle versus West Brom. The others can be ignored. There's not a problem. So do let us know on the text lines 4215. It is the Manchester derby to look forward to today. It is the Man United versus Man City. That's going to be taking place just around 8:30 UAE time. That's going to be a big game. I'm sure a couple of people from within our own Pulse 95 crew will be out and about catching those games live on the airwaves, and that is going to be a game that is worth watching.
Ray's wearing his Man United jersey over there.
Oh, there you go.
Representing.
So deciding. Well, but if you are an early bird, then you can only catch the 4 p.m. game, which is West Brom versus Newcastle, and then you can prepare to warm yourself up for the morning Majlis the next day and go to bed early. That's what you got to do. But for now, our discussions have concluded, and we shall speak to you tomorrow morning.
We certainly will. Check out our podcasts on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcast. Just type in Morning Majlis. We also upload daily on YouTube at Pulse 95 Radio. Stay tuned.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.